All right. We got to that time again. Fucking incense zen. These fucking guys, dude. These fucking guys are like, oh, well, let's give good smelling things to people that watch the podcast. Fuck you, incense zen.
Get out of here, guys.
Fuck off.
You think we need your fucking incense money to fund this? It's paper, dummy.
It's paper.
It's just paper.
Oh, you want to work out a deal that helps us, keep the podcast going and people get to burn cool sticks in their house and make it smell better? Fuck off, dude. Is your phone going off?
Yeah,
fuck
dude.
you too, dude.
I'm not even picking it up. We're not starting over. Fucking leave the phone call in here. Do you know why we keep working with Incense Zen? It's because, look at that. They gave us nothing to say. They gave you a coupon code and they say, go ahead, throw it in there. Incense Zen, I will, till the day I die, is the coolest fucking company I have ever worked with.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I have used their products. They sent me like samples and stuff. Their incense, it smells fantastic. You get 20 sticks for $1.99. They have tons of flavors. Well, you don't eat them, dipshit.
I do. It's really fucked with my colon.
You are not supposed to consume those.
They told me, no, yeah, it's not. They say don't eat them, but
but
sometimes I just keep going
with
it. But fucking sense.
Honestly, they're such a cool company. The dudes we talk to there are so nice. Their product lasts a long time, and it's pretty quality too. So please help support us and help support Incense Zen, because that is the best sponsorship that we have ever worked with.
Coupon code EddieGus is the one to use. EddieGus and not Gus Eddy. Gus Eddy does work, but and the prices are the same, but I think the deal is better if you use Eddie Gus. And I'm just not going to let Gus join in or say anything else in the ad. So enjoy the episode, guys.
Get 15%
Don't do anything. Enjoy the episode. What a good ad read that Gus and I already filmed, and that was an ad read that I already know what we said and did, and I know it was funny. Today we have a guest that is a close friend of ours who I love dearly, who I'm in love with, and I'm telling him for the first time right now. He was on The Walking Dead. He was on Shameless. He starred in the Blair Witch movie.
Almost
James
project,
Allen McCune.
Hey,
friends. That was very sweet. That was the sweetest intro anyone's ever given me.
We didn't try hard at all.
Yeah, I just kind of winged it. It wasn't really.
Googled your name beforehand. I didn't even know your last name.
Yeah, we've been calling you Jamie, and I was like, is that the whole name? Is it like Cher or like Jamie?
The artist formerly known as James Allen McCune. What's up, Jamie? How you doing?
God damn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this intrusive?
Just so you guys know, before we started rolling, Jamie started purposely doing that.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to get comfortable here.
You're going to annoy audio listeners so much. Stop.
Sorry, dude.
This is the worst intro ever.
I love, too, that. So, Jamie, fuck you. Die in a ditch or a hole.
You know what song that was?
What's that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's a song.
I'm reading the comments in my head now.
They're like, don't get
Tailspin
Jamie
is
back
the
on.
second best theme song of all time.
What's the first?
Gummy bears.
That's a good one.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere. You know this?
Yeah, the Gummy Bear song?
No,
I'm
that's
a gummy bear.
DuckTales.
Dude, DuckTales pretty good.
Oh.
No, wait, no, sorry. That was Crazy Frog. Sorry. That was crazy.
You know, I love, too, that Jamie, who was instrumental in helping us set up the podcast, the first episode was like, make sure you take those labels off your water bottles so you don't confuse. And he's just fucking munching down on obviously Pringles.
dude,
Limited time only Pringles.
It's like IHOP. They turn the P upside down and it's Pringles. It's the most immediate snack of all time. Well,
yeah,
I had
it's like that, but they didn't do that, and it's on camera.
I have a hard time. We don't have any gaff. I'm gonna set it down here. I had a situation at the 7-Eleven where I was just going to take a look at the fun new flavor of Pringles that I spotted from outside. I was like, I gotta look at that can. I took a quick peek at it, and then Butterfingers, and it just clacked on the ground like I was intentionally trying to get everybody's attention with the can, and I was like, I guess I'm buying this now. I'm gonna walk down the candy aisle like I meant to go down there instead of just trying to hide my face from everybody.
Have you ever had to buy something really dumb because you broke it in a store on accident?
No.
No, I have.
I was at the conversation.
Well, this is a terrible lead-in, but I was at a spelling bee when I was in like 6th or 7th grade with my dad. Was driving me like to the spelling bee, and
we broke the words, and you had to buy them on the way.
I broke it. I broke the bond with my father. No, we were
a very traumatic story for him. Thank you not to laugh at it.
I just smell the fucking 7-layer dip chips.
Dude, it tastes just like 7-layer dip.
It really does.
It's too close. It's like the problem with ranch chips. They have the ranch ruffles, right? This is fucking riveting. We had ranch ruffle chips that were fucking perfect because they didn't quite taste like ranch, but now they taste exactly like fucking ranch.
Really? Isn't he the guy that played the Hulk, Ranch Ruffalo, or what? I don't like myself.
You can't get mad at me. You can't get mad at me for driving down the road and you going like, I'm gonna look at the menu, and me saying, yeah, is there a whim in you? And you getting mad at me. You can't do that.
Right, it's a wash.
I want to put it on the record that I don't do those ever. So,
well, see, that's why our relationship is about here when it could be here.
Strained.
We haven't crossed a line yet.
Gus, what were you saying about your father's broken relationship with you?
So we were driving to a spelling bee, and we stopped at a gas station, and I just was going to the back to the bathroom, and I knocked a couple shot glasses off that had big titties on them.
Dude, if you buy cheese at the end of the story, that's the most Wisconsin story you can tell.
No, they were like, it was like, they said like, what happens in Wisconsin stays in Wisconsin. So my dad had to like buy 4 broken titty shot glasses for me.
Sorry, I'm here to.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That is so fucking funny, dude.
But yeah, that was my childhood.
That was my childhood. It's titty shot glasses.
Yeah.
He's the king of titty city.
I love that sketch so much. It's a sketch from the Ben Show, if you guys don't know it. The Ben Show, I never hear anyone talk about the Ben Show, but it had some quality sketches.
That sketch alone is fucking incredible.
Yeah, and also the one that I maybe don't want to say the title of right now. But let's.
So, Jamie, what have you been working on recently? What are you up to these days?
I am currently a producer of Sugar Pine 7 as a Rooster Teeth channel, which has been very interesting. I'm still also acting and whatnot. I don't know. It's a weird. I have a weird career, I think, in a lot of ways. But lately, the main gig has been like producing. Mm-hmm. I'm trying that out. That's a new hat I'm putting on.
Yeah, that's cool.
They say.
You're very good at it. That's why this podcast is rolling right now.
No,
That's why this episode is going.
It's very sweet of you. I love my credit. Was it executive
producer?
That makes me real happy. I don't know if anyone's put that on the IMDb yet. I don't even think it's
a title that's new.
People are just waiting to add our podcast to IMDb stuff.
What's funny is the executive producer credit is usually saved for people who help fund a project, mostly, and a producer is just producer, the ones who like help put it together and stuff. So executive producer, it sounds like I have funded the people who funded the movie.
That's what you did.
The podcast.
He paid for the hospitals, like $1 backers.
Everyone thinks I'm loaded.
So, Jamie, I want to ask you, since you do wear so many hats, like you say, acting, producing, and writing stuff too, what is your favorite part? Like, what is your favorite task to do? I mean, in show businessy stuff. I hate using that term, but you know what I mean?
I mean, we are in the business of show. I don't think that's reaching. I've been asking myself that a lot lately because I feel like I have had multiple existential crises because I've been trying to figure out that. Like, what do I actually care about? Because truthfully, the lifestyle of being an actor is, and again, I never want to sound ungrateful. So if ever I do, just know that it comes from I'm fully aware that I'm lucky to have ever gotten to work at all in any of these hats in the first place. But I love the job of acting. I hate the lifestyle. It is the most crippling, emotionally destructive lifestyle you can live outside of being a sex worker. I think, I think they're very similar in a lot of ways. I will never compare my struggle to theirs because, that's a very different kind of mindset. But like it's basically like, yeah, selling yourself and like trying to, but instead of having any control over that, it's like waiting for somebody to call all day long. It's like when you have a crush on someone and you're trying to like move the relationship forward and you text them one day and it just says red for like 3 days and you're like, maybe they'll text back today. And that's like all you think about. That's my entire life. That's the entire career. It's like you go on these auditions, or like you hope for an audition in the first place. And then if you get one, it's like you get all of these like different steps of feeling like, oh, maybe this is the one or something like that. And it's crazy because you could win the lottery. Like I have had friends who just like all of a sudden one day wake up and they're making like 30 grand a week or something like that.
Sex workers or what?
I'm not gonna divulge other people's information, but yes.
Sorry, you're saying
it happens. Like you can overnight become a huge success, make a ton of money and stuff, but or you sit at home all day and you just like wait. And what's crazy is even if that stuff does come, it goes away right away, and people stop. You immediately stop working once you've had the job and stuff. You never know if the current thing you're doing will be the last thing you ever do, and that's really very frightening. So it's interesting. So I've been trying to figure out like, okay, if my day-to-day is really that frustrating, what do I actually enjoy about it? It's a hard question.
Yeah. What do you do to kind of like occupy yourself between, like if you're between traditional acting or performing projects like that?
Producing has been really nice. This is the first time in my acting career that I feel like I have some semblance of control with my day-to-day. Because I've just been like, I'm going to dedicate myself to being an actor full time. And you just wake up and you just wait for someone to call you. And you can't leave the state. You can't gain too much weight. You can't lose too much weight. You can't get a fun haircut. You can't get any tattoos. You have to kind of stay the way you look in your headshot and just kind of like hope that somebody's going to call you and shit. And it's like that dedicating yourself to being an actor full time is like spending a lot of money on classes and just waiting. And I was so miserable at doing that now getting to be a producer is kind of it's fun because it's creative, and I have more control than I ever did as an actor, and I really do appreciate that. It's very stressful, but it's something. It's amazing what having just a structure to your day, even if you're doing stuff that you're not crazy about, like the difference that makes. That's why I have so much respect for you guys. You can get up and like
don't have any respect for me,
no,
especially.
Man, you guys are incredible. You blow me the fuck away. That's what I love about YouTubers. I am obsessed with the YouTube community. I love it. I've always been really, really into it. I think I've been more passionate about YouTubers than I have about actors.
Yeah, fun fact, Jamie slept with most of us.
I mean, that's the main way that I got to be an executive producer
on the show. The first executive was for sleeping with Gus, and the second one was for sleeping with me.
He's like, I don't want to do this anymore, and we're like, we'll add another executive to your
name. You want?
All right, you got me, boys.
You want the golden toilet of titles at the end of the credits? Like, I do. What was I saying?
I interrupted your very nice thing to
joke
about you sleeping with me.
I have so much respect for you guys and just YouTubers because you basically you are doing it for yourself, and you're fucking getting up and pushing through shit, and you're getting rid of all of your distractions in your home, which is the most distracting place of all time, and it's outside of a 7-Eleven in Wisconsin where there's titty mugs, and it's you're making shit. Like that's incredible just to be able to make. I have ADHD, so the act of like accomplishing stuff is gargantuan. So I have the most respect in the entire world for you guys in particular, because I know how hard you guys work. But the YouTubers as a whole, I'm in awe of. It's like Ninja Sex Party was on Conan the other day. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh my God.
I was like on the brink of tears. I was so fucking excited for them. I'm so fucking excited for them. They like Danny. I don't know him personally. I know people who know him, and it's just like I don't get starstruck about actors. I don't give a shit about actors, but like the fucking there's certain YouTubers. I'm like that's like Linus Tech Tips, Game Grumps. Like there's certain people that I'm like, you're fucking titans in your field. It's incredible. It's so exciting to see you guys get especially you guys are blowing up. It's nice to see that you're getting the respect you deserve because you work so hard. It's so cool.
Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing is you're an incredibly complimentary person too.
I won't bullshit you. I'm not saying stuff just to get close to your ass to blow smoke of it. I just
you're going for that third executive.
Dude, one day.
He's like, if I can just get closer to their asses.
I just want the little emojis around the executive producer. No, I wouldn't say anything if I didn't mean it.
Well, thank you, dude. It's interesting too, like looking into, and I've talked to both of you individually like a lot this week too, where you just go through these periods as YouTubers where it could seem like, sometimes we would give off the illusion of being prepared or like hard working with stuff, but there are spells where it's like, at the end of the day, you are your own boss and you make yourself do 100% of the stuff that you have to do. And it's like this last week too, I just was like, I have so much shit to do and I feel like I just wasted so much time. Just, you wake up and you sit in your room and you're like, I gotta do all this stuff. Fuck, like I'm behind on this stuff. And like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you anyway.
But you do it, like you get shit done.
Eventually.
At the end of the final hour, shit, I gotta upload. And it's like I still love shooting stuff, but sometimes I just let it slip with that. Do you get that way? Like your projects are bigger though too.
Yeah, well that's why the procrastination can be like pretty bad, because for me it's like there's videos that I'll even chip away at, and they'll be like, I'll get like a minute done that day when I planned on finishing that day. Mm-hmm. And it's never the mindset of like, oh, I got a little bit chipped away and it's a week till the upload. It's like, you fucking idiot. Like, why did you not get it done? And why did you play Fortnite and then Spider-Man and then Fortnite again, you idiot? So that's kind of what that is for me.
Yeah.
Because it's the longer ones. I don't know what it's like to do the shorter ones. We've always talked about that we have the two different stressors with our stuff. Yours is to constantly come up with something new for the idea, and then the execution is still difficult, but like the editing is pretty quick and then it's out. But it's like thinking of it and keeping that schedule is a lot. And then mine is like having this big one thing to like chip away at, and it's just like guilt the whole time. But I think yours is harder to do.
See, yours stresses me out more.
It stresses me out to hear yours more.
Yeah, because I'm like, fuck, I would just overthink it so much. Whereas like your uploads are like event uploads in my mind. Where it's like, there's a new edit.
Ish,
like,
but
ish. That's what I think of my own videos, ish. No, but it's like, I would put so much into that one thing. Whereas mine's like, this is kind of a dumb joke. If it sucks, I'll have another video in like 3 days, But
that's so interesting to me. It's like but it's also really indicative of your individual personalities too. Like I think that you both have, like I think the three of us are we're very similar minded. Like we all kind of function, I think, as far as the way that we analyze things. We talked about this before off mic, but like you guys are kind of doing the same thing in a lot of ways, which is really fascinating to me. Like you're commenting on different aspects of life and different parts of existence on the internet, and you talk on a whole about a whole litany of things in a very detailed, in-depth way and with a very critical eye. And you're doing basically the same thing, but in 30 seconds. Like you're finding little anecdotes about the universe as a whole, and you're kind of like farting on them little moments at a time.
It's little toots.
Fucking love that.
Eddie's a big turds. I'm just tooting along all week. I'm just tooting on the ditch, bro.
It's so true. And it's like, you're both holding mirrors up to the viewer, which is really cool.
Well, thanks.
I respect that.
One question to both you guys then with workload stuff. Were you good at like doing homework in school and like getting stuff? I was fucking terrible at it.
I didn't do it.
Yeah,
I just
same.
didn't. I mean, I was always of the work smarter, not harder like mentality, which royally fucked myself over. I stumbled and limped my way through the school system. I barely passed college.
Wow, I would have thought that you would have really passed with flying. You see, you're
Nightmare.
so smart.
I wouldn't think so.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I feel bad because I'm so constantly torn between resenting like any school shit and then not wanting to like hurt people. And I was surrounded by such loving teachers and professors. But I also kind of like manipulatively, like I knew how much I could like slack off, and I was never like the screw around kid, but it's like I knew I could at the end of the semester be like, can you help me, like cut me some slack? And I felt like such a piece of shit every time, but I passed. I mean, in college, genuinely, this is not an exaggeration, I would be surprised if in college I did more than 20 hours of traditional homework for my entire college thing. Like outside of like art projects and shit, like taking homework home, I probably didn't do more than 20 hours for the whole time. Because it was like I'd show up to class and I'd quick like wing in and get like a C- on something, and I'd just pass with C's and D's and stuff too. And like I could justify in my mind like, oh, I was doing YouTube stuff too. I wasted so much time hanging out with friends and stuff too. But like at the end of the day, I passed, and I didn't really like burn any bridges. So that was way too long of an answer. What about you?
I was the same way. I was the same way, except the difference is that I wouldn't ask for help at any point in time. I would just kind of be. Were you really?
Yeah.
I was just resolved at points to just kind of like, oh, I guess I just this is gonna go poorly. Like it was a good test for how much can I passively absorb without paying much attention. And it turns out it's the bare minimum to pass all my shit. And I'm very ashamed of that because I'm now very interested in these things that I completely glossed over. But I feel like I have so little information in my head, and I'm really bad. I'm really not book smart in any way, shape, or form, and it's very embarrassing. I can't hold. But that's one of the things is like I found out. I talk about this kind of stuff a lot on other podcasts. So I apologize if somebody's like heard me somewhere else and I'm repeating myself. But like I found out that I had ADHD last year, and it was a fucking revelation. It was like, oh, that's why I always felt like I was just a huge fuck up. Like, oh my God, I just didn't learn the way everybody else did. And nobody ever cared enough to be like, why isn't this working for you? And it breaks my heart to think about how many people out there who are like creative types who just don't learn the same way as everybody else, who are just kind of like, it sounds like the way we all were. We were like, I'm just not good at this. I'm not smart. I'm not capable, or like whatever. And it's so far from the truth because you guys are two of the smartest people I know. But it's like the system isn't built for us to learn that way, and it's a damn shame. But what was your experience was similar? Was it like?
Well, yeah, it was, especially I think with something like math for me, which I know a lot of people, it seems like everybody I ask is either like, yeah, I'm naturally great at math, or people are like, I'm fucking terrible. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, for me growing up, I was good, like really good when I was very young. And then it just seemed like I would like slowly fall behind and like hitting walls where it would be, I'd be in like an accelerated math going into high school. Wow. And I'd have like a C+. And I'd be like kind of struggling, and I'd be like, I just can't do this. So I dropped down to the next one. I'd be like, this is gonna be easy as hell. C+ in that class too. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is something about how I'm retaining this information. And especially with math, I was like, I feel like I can't ask anybody because everyone in class are my friends, and I feel like they all know what they're doing. Yeah. So yeah, I even got to a point where I just didn't, especially my senior year, I didn't take a math class because I was going to community college, and I was like, oh, I want to go to community college and then film school. And I just asked my counselor, I was like, do I need this? And he's like, well, it's not really on the court. Like, it's not required. And I was like, okay, drop it immediately. Like, yeah. I don't want this. Yeah. And I remember even my junior year of high school being like, I can't, like every day trying to listen to the lesson and being like, my brain just keeps going like, no, you can't retain this. You don't get it, like at all, which was frustrating.
That's my exact situation. Mm-hmm. Like, so I mentioned the spelling bee and shit before, but like spelling and literary stuff, like I was so far ahead of everyone else. And math was laughable. Mm-hmm. Like borderline 5 grades below everyone else at any given time. I was just terrible. But I was good when I was young. I could add and subtract and hold that shit in my head, but I couldn't do anything. And again, another example where I should have really kicked into gear and be like, well, maybe I got to do one of these. I took 4 years of college, and I had not taken a single math class, still haven't since my sophomore year of high school, and the highest I took was like Algebra 2, and I limped my way through. I had to go in early for school every day to meet with the math teacher personally to help me get like a C- in that class. Oh. I barely passed, and I went into college, and I had to take more math shit. But I was like, there's no fucking way I can do this. So I worked with, I shouldn't throw my mom under the bus, but she helped me with this. But like we went to, there was a high school class I took called Personal Finance, which was incredibly helpful.
Why isn't there shit like that?
Right?
Why isn't that a core class?
High school should have that.
Why isn't social skills a core class? Why isn't taxes a core class?
Yeah.
Why aren't they fucking teaching people shit that they actually will use?
Yes, and that's what that class was. It was like, here's how you balance a checkbook.
I wish I
Here's
knew
how
that.
you budget.
We sort of
like
had
that.
one in our I don't know if it's Illinois law. I forgot the name of the class specifically, but health and that were like, they were optional classes. Not optional, but you choose them at one point in the 4 years, and everybody just chose to take them during summer school of their first 2 years to get it out of the way. So for Illinois, I think it's required. But
smart.
That's not the country.
That needs to be. It just boggles my fucking mind how people don't have. The school system's basically unchanged since like what, the fucking 60s or something.
Yeah.
Like
I think elementary schools change a lot more.
I hope so.
But I think middle schools and high schools change less.
I
than
say that
they
like
do.
I know what I'm talking about. I don't, but like, you know, it seems like the biggest change we've had since back in the day is we spank children less. But you know,
It's coming back.
it's
boys.
coming back.
coming back.
George is bringing it back.
Yeah, I saw
Let's put some fucking nails on a board. Hurt people. Let's scar them for life. I just, it's crazy, dude. Like I just. Look, if you feel like you're fucking up and things aren't going well in school and that you're a failure and that you just can't fucking do it because everybody else around you seems like they got it figured out and you don't understand what you're going through and why you're different and you're just kind of faking your way through everything and you just can't focus on stuff, it's okay. You're not the worst parts of your day and you're not the things that you can't do. Just find what you're good at and start fucking working at it. That's what's so cool about you guys is that you were like, okay, not school, but like what gives me worth outside of that, you know? Just find. I didn't do that. I think I like fell ass backwards into my career. Got very lucky, but I didn't like aspire to anything as a kid. I just didn't understand that I was capable of anything. Nobody everyone called me stupid growing up because I just didn't understand. I didn't understand how to do the stuff everybody else did, and I just kind of resigned myself to being like, I guess I'll just, you know, fade away and like open a lawn care business or something like that. I didn't know what I was going to do.
I think when you're young too, you think that is going to be the most long-lasting feeling of your entire life. Because especially, I don't know how the atmosphere was in your schools. Mine was like, I think the best performing class our high school ever had.
Wow.
So it was like every fucking person I looked at was like getting ready to go to fucking Stanford, and it's like,
rough.
guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to community college and working on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. But yeah, I think when I was younger, I really thought like, this is gonna fuck my entire life.
They tell you that too.
Yeah.
They're like, this is going on your permanent record, and you
They
think,
really
like, this will have
scare
bearings.
you.
Oh my God, they do. Even I remember the transition from middle school into high school. How serious it was. Like,
You have to learn cursive.
Yeah.
All the letters stitched together, and you can't even read the difference between an N and an M. It's going to be fucking horseshit if you don't learn how to do this. You're going to have to write everything like this. You see how you can't read your mom's checks? That's on purpose. You got to figure it out right here, right now, and if you don't, you're going to get fucked every time you try to do anything because everyone uses cursive. Like, can you please write print on this SAT essay that you have to be 4 fucking paragraphs full of nothing but print letters? You cannot use cursive. It can't even look like cursive.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man?
I love
the
that
turnaround.
contrast.
Yeah, the turnaround between enforcing cursive and basically banning it was
Yeah,
so short.
I want to see like a cut of 2 different moments in my life of my second grade of them going like, guys, you'll need to use this, to like we're learning it in 3rd grade and them going like, well, when you sign for a house or something, to when I got my license for the first time, I signed it and I go, oh, I'm sorry, my name is Edward and I accidentally put in cursive Eddie, and they were like, your signature doesn't matter, whatever the hell it is. And I was like, what? And they were like, you can write the guy literally says, you can write a smiley face if you want to. And I was like, what? What the fuck did I learn all this for?
That was great. Like, dude, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, that's what I signed for anything now. It's an E and then a bunch of scribbles and then a B and a bunch of scribbles.
I
'Cause it
spent a
doesn't
lot of
fucking
time
matter.
on my signature. I'm embarrassed.
Really?
That's the stupid fucking like drama kid thing. We're like, fucking one day I'm gonna put this on a picture of myself.
One day somebody's gonna sell this Taco Bell receipt for $40.
Oh, dude, my mom, I think she Googles my name once a day, which is very sweet. But she found, after The Walking Dead happened, she found that people had been taking I had been getting like fan mail for the first time and stuff, and so I was sending like headshots out, and my mom found them on eBay.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if they're still up there, but it was the saddest thing in the world because there was like 3 of them and they were all like $15. Buy it now. And
double digits. There you go.
she was like, look, they're selling your shit. And I was like, this isn't exactly how I pictured it. In my head. It was just some fucking scalpers who pretended to be a 13-year-old girl in the hospital who got me to send her fucking funny.
Or it is the 13-year-old girl in the hospital and she's like, I'm gonna make some
gonna get
coin
some
while I'm
fucking rich.
rich.
Did it sell yet, Mother?
Nobody knows who this fucking cowboy hat cracker is.
One thing I feel like, especially we know you, so we know a lot of these stories. But do you have any like cool stories you want to share, especially from something like The Walking Dead or Shameless? Because I know people listening like definitely would want to hear something like that.
Yeah, dude. Like it's so strange. I have a very like conflicted. I'm very conflicted about talking about The Walking Dead. I think I've talked about this with you guys, but like talking about The Walking Dead, it feels like I don't really have ownership over that because it was my first job, and that was extraordinarily lucky. And like, you know, I have friends who would kill to be zombies. So I'm very lucky. I never want to talk shit about my involvement on the show. I keep doing this. I have to like put like a
preface or something.
Yeah, like don't call me a spoiled shithead, because I know. But like, when I got on the show, I didn't realize anything. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about what I was doing or what I was up to or whatever. And like, the show is in a very strange transition period. So I was originally going to have a more involved storyline, I think, than I ended up having. But what resulted was me just kind of, for the most part, just like me bopping around, and not really accomplishing much. So I feel kind of weird about being like I was on The Walking Dead, because like, yeah, I was there for like 10 episodes, but I really just kind of, I didn't creatively contribute much to the story. So I feel very strange. I don't feel like I have ownership saying I was on the Walking Dead as much as, you know, like Emmy it could have, or, you know, but that said, it was still probably one of the most rewarding parts of my career by far, because it was, I think, the best thing that could have happened to me in my entire life, to begin with, just for my longevity as an actor, but also just as a person. Like, the cast, they had, don't know if this is still the case. I haven't met a lot of the new cast members, but they had like a no asshole policy, you know, and everybody was just a good fucking person. And Andy, especially, who plays Rick, he on multiple occasions would really just kind of level with me, and he didn't really like breaking character. Like, you know, he wouldn't drop his accent. He wouldn't always he wasn't always doing the Southern accent, but he would still do like an American accent, and kind of vaguely. He wasn't like walking around, you know, all gritty and shit. But he would more or less kind of be in character most of the time, but he would drop character and like really kind of like level with me about stuff, and kind of encouraged me to, like, you know, when you're a leading man, you can do this, and like really talk to me like I was going to do something one day. And that I think was like, he taught me how to be a leading man, and what to do when I'm being looked up to in general, and, you know, how to hold myself. And like Stephen Yun, who plays Glenn, like I owe so much to that guy, just by proxy. He like really showed me how to be like a good dude, and like how to present myself in the job and stuff. And I just, you know, they all really sat down with me and showed me how to do this shit. And it was fucking invaluable, because like when I have leading parts after that, all the stuff they taught me, like, really, you don't think about it. You don't think about what kind of an effect you have as the actor on set. But like, having produced stuff now and kind of been on the other side of production, I've realized it really just takes, and I think this is true with everything. This is something Andy said. Is like, it takes one crappy attitude to destroy a set. Just one person in a bad mood can destroy an entire set. And as number one on the call sheet, people are going to look to your attitude as a beacon for how everyone's attitude should be. So if you're having a bad day, you have to be Mr. Optimistic. You have to push through and really, you know, show up and work through it and stuff. And it's true, because like, I've had, I think maybe like 2 days where I've worked and I've had bad attitudes, and you could see it. You could smell it on set. Everybody's feeling the way you're feeling. And I think that isn't just beholden to the actors. I think that's the case with everything, you know. Having been responsible for actors as a producer, it's like, I have to keep these fucking people happy, you know. If they're not keeping their own attitudes in check, if I'm not helping them stay happy, the whole thing is a fucking disaster to slog through and stuff. It's like, you really got to have this, like, it's not lying, it's just you're the most optimistic version of yourself when you're making something. Because how often do you get to make shit? You know, it's like, this is so fucking cool, and it's not hard to have a good attitude and believe it's gonna, you know, go well and be fun and stuff. But like, if you we were shooting something, and some of the actors were like, we were like, do you want anything from the store or anything? We do like a run, and they're like, let's get some Red Bull. Haha. My first instinct was like, we need to get Red Bull. They're joking, but they don't think they need Red Bull, but if they don't have Red Bull, we're going to need them to have Red Bull. It's like, if they joke about it, they're getting it, because it would take one person kind of being like, oh, I was kind of hoping that there'd be some Red Bull. Everybody else to be like, yeah, that would have been nice, I guess. Maybe they're not thinking about our best interests or what we want, or, you know, it's how it's crazy how quick people can shift and how that can shift an entire room. But yeah, no, I owe so much to those guys and girls and just everybody on set for putting me through like boot camp on that show. Is incredible. And that's not how the other jobs that I've worked on. There's nothing like that set. That set was full of really kind people who worked so fucking hard. They really were huge examples for how to not be a dickhead.
I love hearing stuff like that. That's just I like hearing stuff like that when people are cool on a show.
Yeah, so that was the first time that you were like on like a traditional like camera doing something, right? Because you'd done stage acting stuff, but that was the like first. So was that first day like the most nervous you've ever been? Because I feel like that is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, because I was a huge fan of the show, so
okay.
I like meeting everybody was so fucking surreal to me because I had you know I'd seen all these people like just. Google Gail Ann Hurd is the producer of the show. Like, just Google her. What she has done is pretty much shaped society for our generation, I think, in a lot of ways. Like the fucking Terminator movies. Like, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
I didn't either until that first day.
Damn.
And I Googled it. I was like, oh. Suddenly my pants are chock full of shit. You're like shaking her hand.
And
like,
everyone hears it from his trailer. Hey, is Jamie ready to go? Suddenly my pants are chock full of shit.
I'm going to need a moment. It's a Hershey factory downstairs.
Jamie, we're rolling right now.
Pooping.
You just keep the southern accent. You don't need to do that radio voice like that. Just stay in character, maybe. I don't know. Again, still rolling.
That same day I've taken shits in my britches.
The director was like walking past the trailer and he hears that and he's like, I have an idea. And it's like a serious moment. Zombies are rushing in, like Rick's going for his gun, and then just right on frame, Jamie walks in. Suddenly my pants are chock full of shit. Perfect. Cut.
The motivation was there. He was feeling it. He was in character. The man actually shit his breeches.
There's a fucking producer meeting. How quickly can we kill this guy?
About as quickly as he can shit his breeches. No, I was fucking nervous as shit. Especially because, again, I was a huge fan of the first season. And I remember pulling up on set, and I just met Emmy, and she and I were kind of in similar boats. I later found out that she was on Broadway and like did all this other cool shit. So she was way more experienced than I was. So I fucking adore that girl. She's so. I feel like the word talented is kind of disingenuous to how hard people work, because people feel like if you're talented, you just get shit. But she is not only talented, but she is really fucking dedicated. And
that's Emily Kinney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emily
she plays Beth, right, on the show.
She did. Yeah. She's
spoiler.
Oh shit!
That was a few years ago. Sorry, boys. I didn't see it live either.
But she and I were kind of like shaking in our cowboy boots and shit, and in the distance, because we were on the field at the farm that we shot at, and it's this like expansive Georgia landscape that just rolls for miles and miles and stuff. And in the distance, I could see like there's this like little like raisin just like jogging around in circles around trees and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is over there? And it's fucking Andy Lincoln. he's doing laps in his cowboy boots and stuff. He's covered in fake blood, and he's getting actual sweaty before the scene. Like this, It's the scene where he's carrying Carl up to the thing. That was the very first thing we were shooting. Was his approach onto the farm, and he is in between sets. He's got his headphones in and this tiny like pink iPod, and he's listening to like country music and shit, and he's jogging in his cowboy boots around the farm. And I was like, who's that? And they told me, and he sees us. He sees the van, and he looks over, and he pulls his earbuds out, and he comes over, and that's the first time the first time I met him was him. He was in character. He spoke in his actual accent, and like that's a really big deal. Like he was in it, like he was getting ready to go and stuff, and he dropped all of the progress he had made for the past like hour or something like that of him just running around just to introduce himself.
That is so cool.
It was huge. It's like it wasn't lost on me, the gravity of doing that kind of thing. It was huge. It's such a testament to his character, and like there wasn't any cameras watching him do that, or like he wasn't trying to impress anybody or anything. He's just a good fucking person. That was huge. So I was super fucking nervous, but like that introduction was like oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was very, very lucky. Yeah, that was really, really cool.
No, that's awesome. What would you say is the acting work that you're the most proud of that you've done on any project ever?
Oh man, that's hard because I'm not really proud of a lot of the stuff that I've done. If I'm honest, like looking back, like again, The Walking Dead, I really didn't contribute much, and whatever I did do was kind of like, I was really kind of. I didn't really know what I was doing, so there's really not much to it. I'm the most Shameless. I feel like it was the first thing that I really could take ownership of because I had an actual like, I contributed to the story. You know, I affected a character in a way that wasn't just like I'm in the background, you know, zip zap zopping with the props. I was actually like with the story and stuff. And
yeah,
I had a character. And
is that why you died on The Walking Dead? Is because you're trying to fight like that?
Zip,
zap,
yeah. Zip.
Stop.
You're supposed to zap.
I'm getting eated.
Oh no. However will I survive?
I love that.
I've shit my pants.
Yeah, I was
Shit
thinking
and farted.
that actual. I'm thinking of the actual scene that I've seen before of you, and just suddenly my pants are even more full of shit.
Oh no.
More shit than before. I didn't clean up the shit from earlier.
It's like a country prom. It's chocolate fondue inside of my breeches.
I'm trying to gross the zombies out so they lose their appetite.
These dungarees are full of ho-hos.
Classy podcast.
What were we talking about?
Poop and
Yeah.
proud stuff.
Oh yeah.
Shameless.
So yeah, no, Shameless. I really like what I did there. The character was a little special, and I loved him. I thought he was super sweet, and he was a piece of me that was like 10 years younger. And I kind of based him off my nephew too in a lot of ways, and it's like it might not be like immediately apparent that I was doing something with that, but like emotionally, I really felt really connected to what was happening there. That was a real super uncomfortable set.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
Why do you say that?
Difficult. Have I not told you about the situation on that show?
You told me a little bit about that, I think, in the past. Oh, when we at the Americana, it was a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I played
Right,
a
oh,
character
yes.
named Maddie Baker in the fourth and fifth season of Shameless, and my character is like this real sweet kind of loner kid who gets involved with the young one. I think the youngest girl of the family. I don't think there's anyone. There's like younger boys, but yeah, the youngest girl of the family, and she doesn't realize that I'm in my 20s, and I don't realize that she's like 13. So she's like 10 years younger than me, and she's like 10 years younger than me in real life too. So the character progressively gets more and more involved with this character in a way that gets a little more romantic and confusing, and when we find out each other's ages, it gets real wacky. And
That's a way to put it.
yeah, we'll find out what happens next time when you put an adult and a child in a room. Oh,
Zap, zap.
so you're supposed to zip back at me. This is an improv game. Get ready. Big booty, big booty, big booty. Oh yeah, what's up, big booty? And it was a little uneasy. She's when you're a kid on set, you have to have your parents behind the camera, and like you have to go to school after a certain amount of time, and you also can't be on set for for longer than a certain period. And so she's like in like a nightgown trying to like seduce me and stuff, and her like actual dad is behind the camera.
Oh, wow.
Great guy, really sweet dude, but there's just something about the patriarch of the family just like staring at this 20-year-old as he's being like grinded on by a child. We have lost a prop. one of the little
Oh,
triangles.
did one of the Zoop stop down or whatever?
Yeah.
That
happened last
if
episode,
Zip Zap
too.
Zop was a shape, it would be these.
Yeah.
Damn. Harry Potter.
Yeah. Good. That was a good improv, man.
Thanks, dude.
You zopped.
I zopped.
You took
Anyway.
that prop and you zopped.
Yeah. That's a.
Anyway, you were zooping?
Yes. Yeah. So it was just it's uncomfortable in that situation, and I tried very hard to like be cool and be like, it was pretty weird, right? Just because I didn't want her to actually feel like I was enjoying it in a weird way.
Yeah.
And I realized there was a moment, and I'm kind of proud of it in a weird way. But I realized that I was probably making her more uncomfortable. Like she's probably not I realized she's probably not understanding that I was in character in a lot of ways. So I think she was made to be, aside from just being like this young girl in this very adult environment, doing very adult things and having to be in the public eye and stuff. Aside from those things, it might not be apparently obvious that I'm not actually interested in her. And the way I realized that was the director of one of the episodes, really sweet woman. She came up to me and she started talking to me like, so where are you from? And what do you do? How long have you been doing this? And I was like, oh, she doesn't realize that I'm fully functioning adult. And
like not like special needs at all?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I really tried to, and again, that's like, I'm really happy that I could have that effect and stuff, but it was still like, I had this like realization like, oh fuck, what if everybody's not aware that I'm in character and they just think that I'm actually this perverted guy who's just real slow and is like enjoying this intimate shit with this kid and stuff. And so I talked to her, I like dropped everything and I was like, yeah, so and that's when I realized like, I don't know, I would not consider myself like method, but even like encroaching into being I'm just not a good enough actor to be able to like go back and forth really quick. And so it was like I can't imagine how like Daniel Day-Lewis could possibly be full on in character 100% all the time, because that scared the shit out of me. It's like I don't want people thinking that I'm that guy. Like, he's a nice guy, but like that's a fucked up thing for people to draw conclusions of, you know. So it was I had to like drop everything and be like, yeah, so here's a, you know, like I had like a very like try to use a lot of like $2 words and like.
I had a great week. I mean, my 45-year-old girlfriend went.
So I was drinking a real nice whiskey.
Just in case, here's my high school diploma.
As you can see here, I am attracted to adults.
Here's my attracted to adults license that we all carry around.
And as you can see, I've shit my pants.
Do you not have your license?
How old are you?
It was a union shoot.
But yeah, that led to a lot of awkward. There was just a lot of awkward shit in that show, and it ends very awkwardly as well. My character arc, and that was it was an interesting time. I'm very proud of the performance, but I do think that it's just there's a catch with like everything that I've done, and I really feel like with Blair Witch, I just didn't get it. I don't know.
Didn't understand it, or like what do you mean? Like, oh, you didn't hit it like you're proud of it?
Yeah, I felt it. Like I think emotionally, it's so interesting because I think emotionally I was there, but like it didn't play on screen. Like I worked really fucking hard on that movie, and I'm very proud of the work I did on it. But I'm really not proud of my performance in it. It's just it's crazy how that can happen. Like you think that things are going one way, and then when you watch it, you're like, oh fuck. I don't know if you guys have ever had that.
Oh, well, I was just going to say briefly, I have not seen the movie yet. Have you seen
I've
it?
not, but when we saw the trailer too, I've told you this already in person. I'm like a lot and long, but I still like love you as an actor, and I think that you have this gift of like making you seem believable, even though I know you personally. So even when I like saw the trailer for it, I was just like, believe it right away.
Yeah.
Aww.
So yeah,
Thank you, man.
So you're fuck you. Go ahead.
No, that's just it too. Like, I've not watched your stretch of Shameless. I watched the first episode that you were on. I was already all caught up on The Walking Dead. As soon as you tweeted at me, a long time ago, I immediately recognized your profile picture. Oh. But when I watched the episode of Shameless too, you immediately just dissolved into like, oh, that's that character on screen too.
Oh.
But for Blair Witch too, I haven't seen. I mean, I maybe watched the trailer a long time ago. But that is going to be so different, knowing you so well and then just watching you, like, because especially at this point, like, we know you so well, and then you're like the star of this like horror movie. It's gonna be so like strange to that connection,
Yeah, my goal with that character was to just be and this was a fucking mistake, but I wanted to be me. I just wanted to be like, it just felt like when I was like reading stuff in the auditions and stuff, I was like, I just get this. Like, this feels like me. And so, and then the character was even named James. Like, they named it. Actually, I think that they had named it that prior, but I can't remember what they said if they had changed it for me or not, but like it was a different name while I was auditioning, and then they changed it to James as far as I was concerned later. So it was like, oh, this is me. And so I just really tried to just be as close to myself as possible in a lot of ways, but that just made it harder to like wash off when I got home. And so it really kind of put me in a really fucked up headspace for a very, very long time that I don't think I fully recovered from, like dive bombing myself emotionally during that process for like 2 years following.
Because of the nature of what the film was, or because of how you felt about the performance?
I just think I was like trying really hard to like to like live in it all the fucking time, and again it sucks because I don't really feel like this stuff comes across on screen, but emotionally I was doing the work. I really felt like emotionally I was there, but I don't think I really appreciated the universe as much as I could have done, and I don't feel like my performance really shows what I was feeling the way that I wish it had in a lot of ways. I think I like the movie, but I think that I didn't play to the camera the way that I think I needed to. It's a really difficult thing doing found footage because you're kind of tasked with being as real as possible. You can't do any of the fun like tricks that you do on camera for like a TV show or anything like that. So it was just kind of trying to be me, and like what that entails is basically just fucking traumatizing myself every night, and like watching this. I would watch the first one every night before bed.
Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah.
How long was the shoot for?
2 months.
Jesus Christ,
Whoa.
dude. That movie is already, like, the original is fucking scary. That's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
And
that
was
stressful.
That was my lullaby.
I couldn't imagine
Like
doing
the
that
last
to
thing you
yourself.
did before you slept every night?
Every night I would take a bath, I would watch The Flash, and then I would put that on while I was getting ready for bed and stuff, and
Chase it with Blair Witch.
yeah, I would fall asleep to it a lot of the time, and like I was just going through. It just did weird shit to me, and it's like I went through a lot of therapy and a lot of like. I went through a lot of physical therapy. I had a physical therapist afterwards. When I got home, I went to Georgia after I got back, and I saw somebody was like giving me like a Swedish massage, and she was like, "What is wrong with your back?" She was like, "There is something very wrong with you." You know, it's like, she basically was like, "You fucked up. You're like a slinky that's been tossed in the trunk of a car and got in an accident." Like I'd really like physically fucked myself up because I was wearing that big ass backpack all the time, and we were hiking for like 14 miles a day and shit.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And I had this thing in my head about it where like, because in the script things don't really go wrong until a certain point in the script. There's like a certain night where things just all of a sudden fucking shift, and there's no safety anymore. And up until that point, we're hiking basically, and that's like the first 2/3 of the movie essentially. And I always like to have a thing that I latch on to for parts, just to kind of like I don't know, like a totem is a pretentious thing to say, but like just like a thing that I'm like, this is my character. And for me, I used the backpack for James in Blair Witch, because the backpack was my safety until this certain point when I lose it and there's no more safety left. So I wouldn't have any relief. Like I wouldn't let them take the backpack away from me while we were rolling at any point in time. So I was just wearing this heavy ass backpack all fucking day long, every single day until that part of the shoot was done, and then it was just night shoots. The last month was nothing but night shoots, and so we were shooting like 14 hours at night on our feet, doing French hours, which is basically just, instead of having one lunch break, you're basically getting fed a small meal every hour. So you're on your feet the entire fucking time, the entire night, and I'm sprinting and screaming and like crying and like so I was like, you know, it sounds pretentious to be like, the movie, I was so affected by the content of the movie. It was so traumatizing. It's like, fucking get over it, you know. But it's
Blair
like
bitch project.
Yeah, right. It's just like it sounds really fucking cornball, but it's like, you know, you go outside and cry for 2 months at night, every single night, and listen to Heather Donahue scream her fucking brains out every night while falling asleep, and like I don't know. It's like maybe it's pretentious, but like it fucked me up. I put myself in a really weird position. I didn't have to do that. I think that and it was really frustrating to like do all that shit and to I completely fucking lost my mind. I lost my fucking mind. I came home and Mimi and I had just started dating at the time, and I completely dive bombed my relationship with her because I was afraid of what I was experiencing and I didn't know what to do. And so the only thing I knew to do was I was like, fuck it, get everything away, and I completely destroyed everything around me. And she said that while I was sleeping, I was like screaming in my sleep every night. And I was like, oh, that's why I haven't been sleeping and I haven't getting any rest. It's because I'm having night terrors every single fucking night. And she was there every night. And I was just like screaming and constantly waking her up. And like, I was swearing in my sleep and like standing up and like running around and shit. And it's
Really?
like, I was crying nightly in my sleep and I didn't even know what was happening. I'd wake up and be like, oh, I slept so well. And she'd be like, her hair's everywhere. And like, yeah, that's really great.
Yeah. What'd you do to like kind of cope with that or combat that?
I broke up with her and I left.
Really?
I freaked out. I freaked the fuck out. And I think I spent the following 2 years just in like a really weird headspace. I don't really blame that. I think that had much more to do with a lot of anxiety and depression that I wasn't dealing with and stuff just in general. But I think that kickstarted a really big, hard, steep dive for my mental health. That I really didn't know what to do with. And, you know, eventually we got back together, thank God. But like that time period was just so strange because I wasn't prepared for what I was doing. And it was also on top of all these things, like I was like fucking myself up physically and emotionally every single time. But I was also doing the Andy Lincoln special, which is being Mr. Fucking Positive all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard of emotional labor, but it's this kind of thing they associate with like people who work like service jobs and stuff. It's like that's a really exhausting gig to be like a cash register person or to like whatever, because you happen to be like, thank you, come again, like all fucking day long. It's not how you feel. You're basically lying to yourself and everybody around you, and it's like that struggle is really physically exhausting in a lot of ways. And I think I was doing that as I was like losing my fucking brains during the day and screaming and running around and sweating and like hurting myself physically and be like, it's going great, I'm having so much fun. And it was like I collapsed multiple times out of exhaustion and would come up and be like, go well, and then I wouldn't sleep at night, and I did that for fucking 2 months. It was like I didn't know what I was doing to myself. I just think there's this like weird thing that I think a lot of actors do, whether you read about like Christian Bale, who like did all these huge fucking diets and exercises and stuff, and he like lost his mind on Terminator because he's such a like fucking hard actor. He's like working so hard, he's so emotional and stuff. It's like we really put a lot of praise on people when they hurt themselves. It's like a contest to work so hard that you're in pain, and it's not cool. It's not smart. You don't need to be doing it. Look, if you're getting into acting, don't hurt yourself. Like, use your stunt double. Let that person work. They love it. And they're going to get mad at you for not letting them work, as I found out. It's like, no, I'm fucking tough. I'm going to go jump, fucking land on a goddamn ground back first, or like drive a car and crash it and shit. It's like, I've done this stuff because I wanted to be like fucking Tom Cruise. And I just put myself in the production in danger, and I paid for it every single fucking time. So it's not more impressive to hurt yourself when you're working on stuff. It's just kind of silly. And I think that it just frustrated me to like do all that shit and to watch the movie and to go like, oh, it doesn't play. I can't believe I did that shit and I don't feel any of the things in my performance. Like I felt like it was really flat. Like, man, I'm very proud of the movie as a whole. I think just because we all worked really hard on it, and I'm really proud of everybody else's performances and stuff. But I look at that, I'm just like, I didn't do what I wanted to do. It's very weird. So this is the longest way to ever explain to answer your question.
No, it's extremely interesting.
No, it gives such good insight. I mean, I don't blame you. I don't think anyone can pretend to understand what anyone else's experience was like on a thing, but like, yeah, just from an outside point of view, it's not surprising at all to see how like that would have long-term like impact. I mean, you put yourself through so much physically and mentally and emotionally and shit like that. Like, it makes sense to.
I mean, and it's not
figure
like
that out after.
I was like boohoo. Like I don't make it sound like I'm like tortured actor or whatever. It's like I think the main thing that hurt me was just not addressing that I was going through something and not trying to find a solution to it until last year. It was to the point where Mimi had been so used to me being in this depressive, destructive state that when I started to actually get help and started to get proper medication, to see doctors and to have a consistent therapist and like really work on myself and stuff, she wasn't sure how to respond. She's like, I'm not used to this guy.
Yeah.
It's strange, man. Like, mental illness affects everything and everyone around you and stuff. And it's like, if you're an artist in some way, and I do feel like that also is pretentious to label anybody who's not doing a conventional job as an artist, but like, you know, if you like making shit, it's probably because you're trying to fill a hole. I think in a lot of ways you're trying to do something that you feel like hasn't been done for you yet. And unfortunately, I think that we've now put like this glory around hurting yourself for your art or something. And it's scary because that if you already have a mental illness and you start to pursue pain or something like that, it's like you're not Max Bemis. And if you are, look what he fucking went through to write that music.
Who's the Max Bemis? I'll take the fall.
Say anything. The guy who wrote, the guy from not the movie, but like the band. I don't know if any of you guys listen to emo, but he's fucking brilliant man. But
listen to Lil Peep.
Just Lil Peep.
Yeah.
Is that the Easter the marshmallow Easter thing? Those are delightful. They have them. You see, they have them in yellow now. I used to think they were just in pink. They're yellow. I saw one that wasn't even a duck.
Are you being
Jamie,
an old church
Jamie,
lady?
It
or
was
a
in the
monster?
shape
Those are
of
Lil Peeps.
Oh,
Plural.
I see.
Plural Lil Peeps.
Did you see that it had in the shape of a banana?
Oh, dude.
I went over this 3 times with him today. You
It
forget.
wasn't
keep
even
repeating
banana
stuff.
flavored.
No, I don't know why.
Oh.
Dude, he told me that he like brought some gifts for us for the podcast, and his whole bag was full of hard candies. He tripped and they spilled all over the ground. I don't know if you heard this crunching while we were stepping over to the set.
Yeah,
But
is
he
that
just,
why I
like-
heard him screaming "oopsie poopsie" in the
Yeah,
hallway?
yeah. And then,
Nope.
then he said, we know he's saying he went oopsie poopsie. Suddenly my pants are chock full of shit.
Oh, I got some news.
It's a little much.
I don't think he's here with us right now.
I've got some good news.
Yeah.
I've shit.
I shit did and farted.
What is that from?
It's like a new meme to say that. Steve had a really funny Instagram post from it. One thing, this is just not even of the like critical sense of like performance or anything like that. Was there like a traditional screening for Blair Witch? I assume there was because it was like
Like a red carpet premiere
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing, or like
Oh yeah, we had a couple. Sorry.
as you fucking flash another brand.
I know. I keep seeing it. I'm like,
Sorry, my mouth was getting very Canada
I'm
dry.
saying this Canada Dry sure is refreshing. And also, did you see
slamming
how
shit on the table while you're
sure
doing it.
tastes exactly like it. It's actually like
no,
I'm in a
sorry,
Mexican
guys.
restaurant putting some chips into a. Did you know that queso isn't actually Mexican food?
I'm so sorry,
It's like
everybody.
when Ethan went fucking trigger happy on the fucking soundboard on
Yeah.
the HU. We just got Jamie here just destroying the audio listener.
I liked it until the white guy started talking.
My question with it though is it really bizarre? I feel like my worst nightmare would be to be the star of something.
Fucking die.
Jamie.
that was a genuine accident, but I leaned into it.
But yeah, I feel like it's my worst nightmare to like be the star of something and then have to watch it with like a group of people. That sounds awful.
It's weird, man. It is really weird. I think I really like that stuff just because like it's especially like one of the coolest things of my career so far was like the very first public screening, because we saw it once or twice privately at the studio, and then the first like public screening was at Comic-Con that year, and it was a really exclusive thing. They were like Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett's new film The Woods is coming out, because they advertised it as The Woods for so long, and everyone came expecting just to see this, you know, this new spooky found footage film by these guys who were like on the rise, and nobody in the audience really knew anything about it. And there was a point in the movie where somebody says the words Blair Witch, and the audience had no idea it was a Blair Witch movie. And so there's like people like throughout the beginning of the movie, everyone's like, "Is it a fucking this feels very similar to. I think they're ripping off that one movie. And then somebody was like, "Do you believe the Legends of the Blair Witch?" And the whole audience was like, oh, "No fucking way,
dude!"
Like that was like
that sounds awesome.
Regardless of the reception of the movie afterwards, that fucking bait and switch was so fucking cool. Everyone lost their minds in the moment. Like that was like, even if they don't like the movie, they were like, "That was fucking neat."
Do you think it would have been possible to market it as The Woods, or do you know if it was like a studio decision? Or actually, I don't know if you should.
We'd always planned to do that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was brilliant until I saw what actually happened with that. What it really, because it sounds like a really fucking cool idea, and at Comic-Con that was a really cool idea, but the truth of the matter is that people didn't associate The Woods and Blair Witch and realized there was this big switch. And so really we just advertised Blair Witch for half as long as we were actually advertising the movie, because the people didn't realize The Woods was the same thing.
Okay.
They were like, "Oh, what happened to the Woods movie?" It's kind of unfortunate. And I think that because it was being pushed as like, this is Blair Witch, this is the Blair Witch, it felt very like, oh, they're doing a fucking remake, sequel, reboot, cool kind of situation. And so people went into it with this thing of like, oh, come on, this is what everybody's been doing all year long, is just making like, these like really overproduced versions of cult classics and stuff. And so we have this built-in audience who is extraordinarily passionate. Like, horror fans in general are some of the most pretentious, like passionate people of all time. They're so into horror movies. Blair Witch fans, oh my god, that is a whole nother level of passion, because it's got this whole lore behind it, and like all these like theories and shit. And so people got really, really into it, and it kind of, they went into it with this like, oh yeah, you trying to make a movie better than the first one? Fuck you. And it was, so not to say that not to negate everybody's very genuine feelings about the movie, but I think that there was a level of like, try me, when they went to see the movie and stuff. Because it was also marketed like the scariest movie that has ever existed. You will shit in your pants. and everybody's like, doubt it. And and so it was a hard sell, man. I think that it was there is a world where we marketed it as The Woods the whole time, and the whole world found out it was a Blair Witch movie mid-screening, and didn't go in with any expectations.
That would have been cool.
And I think that in that world, it might have actually done better, but it didn't do bad. I think that there's a lot of people who like really very strongly dislike it, for all of the clout that lays on top of it being a Blair Witch movie alone, much less how they actually feel about them, if they dislike the movie. But I think that it would have. I think it might have actually been beneficial to it for people to go in without any expectations, or sort of like, idea about it like matching the first one or something.
Isn't that kind of how they advertised the first one too? Like, I remember hearing stories around the first one, like as I'm telling you. Did you know about the Blair Witch?
What movie is it?
Did you see that they're selling Peeps year-round now? I saw a blue one. They don't make ducks blue.
You watched Blair Witch for 2 months in a row. He's been talking like that ever since.
It's me. I'm looking for my sister in the woods. It's been 20 years. Amazing she'd still be alive.
This is how you contracted PTSD, is you just turn into like a radio announcer from the 40s.
And now, as we round the corner, I sprint in my Dockers and shit.
Present tense shit, though. We're making progress.
Yeah, here we are. We're bringing it back around.
We make our way to shitting pants in almost every podcast episode so far.
Yeah, we have.
It's improv. Zip.
It's a universal truth.
Zap,
Zippity zap.
Zap, you fucking idiot. God
zip,
damn.
zap, zap.
I
feel really bad when I fuck around with you guys like that.
I would just like the Cosby thing, but
Zoop. I would just like to point out that I got both of your references with Zip, Zap, Zop and Big Booty, because I'm an improv boy.
Yeah.
I'm a theater dick.
I have that running joke with you guys where I'll like snap at you all of a sudden and be like a huge dick, and I'll go to lie down and go to bed, and I'll just like get right before sleep and be like, I wish I hadn't said the mean things to my friends. That felt. I hope they didn't think I was serious. Like I always felt really genuinely bad because I love you guys. So I don't.
Okay, shut the
Don't
fuck
worry.
up. Next question.
Like,
Next
anyway,
question.
Well,
I mentioned it in the last episode. I mentioned in the last episode. I think my favorite like bits to do are when my friends are being mean to me. I think it's so much fun to just be like,
you like
"Oh,
being
I
negged.
just-
He's
I just
into
thought,
it.
Did you guys see that ninja clip? We'll move past it.
No, I was gonna say the natural follow-up to the shitted things. Have you ever shit your pants?
There's a line. There's a line that you can cross very simply. And it's hard sometimes to designate if this is this maybe just a very confident fart, or
Oh, I thought you meant, do I answer this question?
I thought he meant the lining of his pants that got shit on.
it's like is this just a really emphatic gaseous blast out of my bee cheeks, or is this an actual shitted my pants situation?
That's beautiful.
And it's hard to tell sometimes because if you have enough Zevia Cola, sometimes the lines get blurred.
Is that the case? I just bought a whole fucking 10-pack of them.
I'm telling you, dude, that if fake sugars are not your bag, you will shit
Damn.
and not even know it.
Just wait a minute.
That's the worst thing. I was like, I'm suddenly.
I was
bleeding?
I was just doing my taxes for the last 3 hours.
Suddenly-
and suddenly,
quite lubricated. I'm not even that sweaty right now.
was
I
that
thought
why I kept sliding off the chair?
I was dealing with declaring dependence, not depends.
Appears to be a snail trail on the seat that I was just using. I'm not quite sure where it occurred from. I don't think that I've proper since being a kid. I don't think that I've completely Hersheyed my trousers. I don't think that. I have had. I think I've had situations where it's like, it's not a Disneyland in my pants. It's as far as the olfactory association with it. But I don't think that I've actually had a moment where it's like I've shit.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That's good. That's a good answer, though.
Have you?
We shared in the past. I said when I was a kid, I forgot. I totally forgot that I shit my pants another time too.
Okay.
Yeah, really
Let's hear
briefly. No, I was painting. Me and my buddy Joe were. It was back when we were in high school, and we were washing windows for an old woman at his church or something like that. So we were just
we started was the windows of the church or
it
the
was her
old
house.
woman's house. Okay,
It was her
yeah.
house, but it was from her church.
I love to watch the young men wash the windows. They're not even dirty. There they go. They're wearing Jinko jeans.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
You name dropped dungarees earlier. You're just trying to get as many fucking jean
This
types.
man knows his Walmart jeans.
So we're just washing windows, and she brings out, because it was we got there at 8 a.m. and it was 2 p.m. and we had so much to go, and we're like, we need to eat. I don't want to get all OSHA on her ass, but it's we were in the middle of nowhere, out in the country, and it's getting fucking hungry. And she just comes out and she's like, I made you some sandwiches, and I was like,
I've
okay,
also put a camera in the bathroom.
I should have known, though. I should have known because she prefaces it. She's like, I don't have a lot of food in the fridge, but I found some tuna,
Elmer
tuna
Fudd.
and mayo at the
You know,
back.
You got to be
Fuck that.
confident when you eat tuna. You have to know for sure where
Yes.
it came from and how old it is.
And it was as high school 3-sport athlete Gus, I was fucking starving. So and I hate tuna. So I bite into it, and right away I could tell this tastes a little punky. But the thing is, Joe took a bite and he's like, this is disgusting. And he dumped his whole plate off.
Right in front of her?
No,
was
she went inside.
I put all of my love into the sandwich.
She's like, shut up, you blue bitty.
Start over, Eugene.
Also,
Who do you think you are giving me a fish sandwich? This better be a metaphor for our relationship later.
I think a tuna sandwich is the most regular sandwich that's the most polarizing of I don't know what they like, but I guess I'll just throw a tuna sandwich together.
Yeah.
I fucking hate tuna. That's
It's
terrible.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It sounds worse than it is.
I don't.
Yes.
It looks bad. That's
It's
what
ter-
I
yes.
hate when I look at it because my family, all of them like it, and it's just hearing the You know, they're like mixing up, like, oh, this is gonna be real good, and I'm like, no, get it away from me. I don't want to smell it.
Sounds like two high schoolers making out for the first time. I don't really know what to do with my mouth or my tongue. But I'm gonna put the whole thing in there.
Why did you scoop all this tuna in between us before we started?
Ignore the camera.
Lubricant.
So Joe jumped it out. Sorry.
Yeah, Joe dumped it out, and I ate like the entire thing. And then it was like about half hour afterwards, I started pleasantly enjoying some very sonorous farts, and I was just like, it was funny. We're just like listening to music and stuff, and just it was one of those. It was one of those rare situations where you could like almost at like your beck and call, be like, "Hey Joe," you know, just a dumb joke, and it was probably like the 20th fart or so. I was up on a ladder. "Hey Joe."
On a ladder?
On a ladder. And I immediately knew I shit my pants.
Oh, dude.
That's one of the worst, not places publicly, but physical places to be, is on a ladder.
Because you can't even
Were you
clench,
wearing-
you have to climb.
Please tell me you were wearing the shorts you're wearing right now. Just like khaki short
Like,
shorts. You
the
can,
only
like,
worst one I can think of is like a treadmill. Like that's the ladder's like probably the worst.
But I was like, immediately, I was just like, sort of like, I went down the ladder and I went into the front entryway because I was going in. Cause she's like, if you need to use the bathroom, it's right here. So I went into the like entryway, and it was just as she was about to go into the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I just was coming in to use the bathroom." She's like, "Do you mind if I go for?" I'll be brief.
Very
Like, I don't
bad
know.
tuna earlier.
Yeah,
I
but
need to go
she
before you.
So I was like, and I didn't want to go back outside, so I just was like standing in her entryway with like shit in my butt, and I just couldn't. And it was rough. I had to like, and here's the problem too is like, I clearly ditched my underwear. You know, luckily my pants were salvaged. But, like, what am I going to do? I could try to flush them and clog her old lady toilet. Oh, by the way, old lady toilets are the weakest fucking water pressure ever.
Yeah.
Any old
Yeah.
woman's bathroom. I don't know if they poop little deer pebbles or whatever, but, like, they're weak as hell. So I was like, well, I can't just throw it in the garbage and leave, like, my shitty boxers there. So I had to, like, take her garbage bag out and wrap them up and like put them in my pocket and like run out to the backwoods and just wing them into the woods. Like,
I mean, like that. She's seen some shit. Like she would, if you had been like, "Excuse me, Mrs. I assume your name is Edna."
Doubtfire, but yeah.
You like, I shit my pants. I think she'd be like, "I get it." And, you know, like she's probably like,
Samesies.
she would have gotten it.
Yeah.
But like, I guess in those moments, you don't want to be like, you know, leveling with somebody about something like that.
I
Yeah.
don't know why I thought about it. When you were talking about tossing it, I just like combined the images of like Blair Witch, Jamie's like running and screaming in the night. a garbage bag. She's like, what the fuck?
These woods are haunted. What does it mean? This must be her shit.
She wears Hanes boxers
She
for
loves
a teenage
pipes.
boy.
Oh my god. There was a time I don't really remember the situation. It's mostly the kind of thing that people talk about. Like my friend used to live down the road from me in my parents' house back in Georgia, and he his name was Alan Craigline, and he used to live up the street. And when I was little, that I had to have been like 5 to 8 years old, something like that. And we weren't allowed in their house for some reason very much. So I got this fear of going to the bathroom in their house because Alan's mom was really not into us being in there because little boys are dirty. And she had every reason not to let us in the house. So like I had to go, and it felt like my house was so far away. In retrospect, 2 houses down, not that far. But at the time I was like, I'll never make it. And I shit in the yard.
It's the most sad thing.
They had this big like bush, like this big thing of bushes, and I remember I went into the bush, and it was like in the Legend of Zelda where you go into where you find the flute in the forest. Is like this like sudden opening in the center of it, and I was like, oh, there's so much room here. This is the perfect place to shit. And I just took a dump in the yard. And now those bushes aren't there, but every time I drive by the yard, I'm like, that's a shit in that yard.
Pooped over there.
That's yeah. Every time I'm with me, I'm like, I took a brown on that yard.
I killed that bush.
That's why.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's probably the closest I've come to actually going all the way to 2.
That's a good one. I have a question that we've asked some people before in the podcast too. I'm wondering if you have a hot take on it. Do you know / are you willing to share the most uncomfortable experience you've ever been in?
The most uncomfortable experience
Yeah.
I've been in a few very uncomfortable experiences, and they range all the way from G to R. Some NC-17. Is that a rating?
I don't know.
know.
I see it advertised on the MPAA thing, but like, is it still the MPAA? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, that's like, at that point, it's just Pornhub.
Yeah, I'm a shitty producer. I never Google anything.
I
just
can hear the taps in the
Doom,
audio.
doom, doom, doom. I just like keep my YouTube channel page up, and that's the only fucking thing.
Yeah,
it just
Gus
does.
goes, let me
Just
look
looking
that
at
up, and he
himself.
just in his brain. Yeah,
That's a good
still got it.
That's a good looking boy. No, man, that's a. You've told me that you're gonna ask me this, and I'm still like, gosh, on the spot.
We ask people it, and I still can't remember like
a-
a good one for myself.
I have one. I told it before on the official podcast a while back, so I hate to Eskimo brother your the stories here.
Not a verb.
Yeah, sure, that's right. That's what that means.
No,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
know what
'cause-
it means, but in
You
this
know what it means?
context, yeah, I know.
So
it. Yes,
when
I
a
do know.
man or a woman,
Loves an Eskimo.
Or anything in
I know what it
between.
is, guys.
it's when you rub your noses together with the same person as your friend. So I think I'll tell that story. It's an interesting story at least, even if you've heard it before. I've yet to learn the most efficient way. You know how you tell a story multiple times, and you're like, but by like the 4th time, you're like, yeah, I got that story down pat.
Yeah.
I fuck it up every time I tell it because it requires certain specifics. But there was an episode of Shameless where I had this director who had been an AD on former episodes. We knew of each other. We were fond of each other. Got along great. But he was directing for the first time, and I was still, I don't know, it was like my 4th episode, something like that. So I was still getting in the swing of things. I wasn't quite settled in yet. I just gotten off an episode with a director who I fucking loved, and we were just we got along so well. He was from Georgia, and we had a lot in common. I was feeling really fucking good. And we switched to the next episode on the same day, and he starts directing, and I'm really excited to work with him. But just stuff just didn't go well at all. It was just a series of fuck ups from someone. We weren't really sure. I wasn't sure if it was me or if it was him or like what was happening, but I kept fucking everything up, and it was like a snowball where it just eventually everything was a mistake, and it just got worse and worse. I forgot all of my lines all at once, and it was a really long scene, and there was a lot of technical shit. I'm terrible with technical stuff, like moving, walking, and talking at the same time and stuff. I'm awful with it. So the first day was dreadful, and at the end of the day, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry that I kind of dropped the ball today. I don't know what happened. I had a lot of bacon this morning. I don't know if that's what it was." And he's like, "You blame this on bacon, man?" And I was like, "Oh fuck no, dude! I was making a joke, man. I'll talk to you later." It was like, and that's how the episode started, and we had a whole week to go.
Damn, dude.
And so we're shooting things that aren't really getting much better. The rest, it's just we just didn't speak the same language. It was my first run-in with like someone who just didn't understand me, and I didn't understand them. We just didn't have the same. We didn't have the same brain in any way, shape, or form, and it was just a big fuck up the entire way through. And we had one final day at the very end. And he's a great guy. I don't want to talk poorly of him at all. Because he's fucking great. He's a great director. We just somehow we cross wires and shit. And it's such a fucking bummer because he's a good dude. I think we were great as friends, but man, we didn't understand each other. There was just so much shit. And cut to the next week, we're shooting the next episode, and he's ADing for that one, so he's not directing anymore. New director, and we do the table read for that episode. And it goes well, and we're wrapping up and stuff, and everybody's like getting snacks and like walking around and stuff. And he comes up to me, and as a you know, like to make amends situation, he bumps me and he's like, "Man, I love you, James Allen McCune." It's like, you know, really, really nice, tender moment. And I was like, "I love you too, Gary. Thanks, man." And he walks away. He waits until he's a good 20, 30 feet away, looks over his shoulder, and goes, "It's Greg."
Oh my God!
Guess who he was adjacent to?
What? Sorry.
Guess who he was adjacent to when that happened? William H. Macy.
Oh no, Jamie, no.
Bad.
No.
And that's the last time I ever saw him.
Oh. Gary.
Now that's shameful.
I don't even know the theme song. I've never seen one episode. Gummy bears. That is painful. Oh,
Dude,
man.
it's fucking bad.
I'm gonna sit
Fucking
pretty low.
bad. He's such a sweet guy. He was such a good dude. God, I don't think there aren't many situations that are like that immediately disturbing.
Oh, really quick for the audio listeners, Gus and I took off our headphones and walked away.
Yes.
Sorry, I just I'm sure it was just silence. That's what
I should have just started like making fart noises with my mouth really quietly when you walked off.
Oh man,
That's painful.
that one hurts.
Yeah, dude.
It still hurts.
That is genuinely, if I'm not thinking about if I've made a misjudgment with a joke with you guys, I'm like, let's cycle through all of the things that I fucked up in life with. That situation.
That's the shit.
Every time.
You have a restless night and you're just like thinking, remember that time I called him Gary?
What's great is I genuinely can't remember if that's the name or not, and it could be that I am wrong. I hope to God he's not like watching this and he's like, he's still saying my fucking name wrong.
I can look it up.
I have ADHD. I'm terrible with names. I'm really fucking bad at names. It's not because I didn't like them or there's something. That's just like one of those things. If you forget somebody's name, it's such a common, understandable thing to do. But God damn it fucking insults every time. And
I would never correct somebody.
I wouldn't. Human.
I would just be like, oh man, he was close. Let's just leave it there.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I earned it.
Maybe he was just a huge fan of Danny, and he's like, I don't go by Gary anymore. I'm Greg now.
Oh, dude, I still feel absolutely shitty about that. Great dude. I just, man. Yeah. If I'm like right before bed, it's like the time that I accidentally farted in a girl's face when she bent over to pick up a pencil. The same time I bent over to pick over a pencil in middle school, and then that situation. It's always like. Remember that thing you did?
She sat there in it and just went, "It's Greg."
She said, "Did this boy just farted and shitted in my bed and came in my bed?"
It's like we both at the same time were like, "Oops," and I bent over and just like she was, it was harmless, But I get up and my first instinct was like, maybe if I act like I heard someone else do that and I thought it was gross too, she'll think that it was someone else. Because would somebody who farted act like it's gross and look around the room all shocked? Like,
can you believe that? I'm just thinking of Kyle. What is that? From
You're strong. Go, did you just get your face farted in too? Something's been going on here. Like,
I think somebody else dropped a pencil right in front of us and bent right there as we were both bending down.
there he goes.
Yeah. Oh.
You should have seen him. Blue sneakers if you see him in the hallway.
oh my God. Can you believe they still sell Peeps throughout the whole year? It's not even Easter anymore.
It's his defense
They're
mechanism.
green for Halloween now.
Don't
and
even
there's
respond
purple
to
ones,
it.
and they look like they've gone off. If you go in the bathroom and see a camera,
Yeah.
Jamie,
I'm
why are you
pooping.
this way? Oh, dude, if you talk to the back, you sound like, "Did you know what's worth fighting for?"
oh, dude.
Why is
What
this?
song is that?
Oh, it's 21 Guns.
Oh, 21 guns.
21 guns. There are 21 guns.
My friend was in I have two friends who were in the Broadway show of American Idiot.
Really?
I watched the
Yeah.
documentary on that.
Really?
So I've seen your friends with my
I don't know if
eyes.
he's done that. I went to high school with one of them, and he's actually, I attribute him for being one of the main reasons that I got into this, because his name is Chase Peacock. He's fucking brilliantly talented.
That sounds like a rock star name.
It does.
Peacock.
And he looks like a rock star. Like,
Yeah.
he and I look like we could be siblings if I wasn't the melting version of him. Like, he is so fucking he's so fucking cool looking, and he's so good. He's always been a really, really fucking great dancer and great singer and a really tremendous actor and stuff. And he fucking took off and did that show, and it was like somebody was I remember getting called up to the office when I was in school, and it was the first time. It was the guidance counselor. She was like, she had like, most people have like big forms or like, here's all the fucking extracurricular activities and stuff. For me, it was like one piece of paper, and she was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? What do you want to do? You trying to do something? What are you doing? And she was like, what do you want to do with your life? And it was the first time anyone had ever asked me that, and I was like, I don't know, just fucking be an actor or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Chase did it. I'll go be an actor. I'll go up to New York and be an actor. I just said it to get her off my back, but like that's what I ended up doing, and it was because I had no other answer. And Chase had just told me that he was gonna do that shit.
He peacocked you.
Yeah, he did. But boy, he's a cool dude. But like, yeah, it was super. I auditioned for the tour of that, and it was it didn't go well.
Really?
Yeah, I miss doing musical theater, man. But it's like hard. It's real fucking hard shit.
Stressful
so much
stuff.
You did Big Fish before you moved out here, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I the most I've ever done is just like college shows and stuff too. But I mean, I did shows through college, but
it's not just
it's
like
stressful still though too. Like
it's a big deal. Did you ever do any like theater or anything like that?
No, I mean I did improv in high school, but I just I can't sing, so I was just like we did have like plays, but the big ones were musicals there. We had a great, my biology teacher was like the head of the program for it, and he was like, I think he won like awards for Illinois for it. Like he was like the best in the state. And I was just like, I wanted to be like comedy roles in it, but even they would sing. So then I would just be like, nah, I'm good.
I was just thinking your teacher winning an award, like best teacher musical biology division. It's just standard.
Just like, biology versions of each musical. What time are we at?
We're at hour and a half on the dot.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
wow.
can go a little bit longer.
Yeah, we'll go a smidge.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't running
What's
too
the longest? What's the longest one so far?
10 inches.
Chris Ray Guns was long. His was about hour 50 or so.
Yeah.
Hour 45.
Fuck you, Chris. I'm gonna beat yours.
Get dead, fella. Dude, I was gonna ask before, because first of all, Chase Peacock, fucking banger name again. Yeah,
dude.
What are some kick-ass band names, even if you don't fucking listen to them?
Oh, dude, I got a thing that's not band names. I'm gonna answer a question you didn't ask me.
What's that?
So when I first got to my like first agent in Georgia, I got my like legal papers and stuff that I was supposed to sign for them, like what they're supposed to like put on all my forms and shit. And they were like, your real name and then stage name. And I was like, I could change my fucking name.
Ooh.
I can make it whatever I want. And me and my friends just spent a ton of time just thinking of like, what's the douchiest name we can do? The best one we came up with was Gavin Reese.
Oof. I don't like
Gavin
that, man.
Reese. Like that guy wears transition lenses. He slicks his hair back. He wears socks and sandals, and he doesn't get looked at by anyone because they're afraid he'll shoot them. That's me. That's my future. Good old Gavin Reese.
Do you have a banging band name you like?
I was in a few bands. I was in high school. I was in a ska band.
Thank God.
Which of course, I was in a ska band called Rising Freeball.
Have you ever told Bruce Green that? Because he does a whole meme about ska.
He and I have talked
bands
about ska. Oh my God, dude! Like, if Bruce and I went to school together, we would have been fucking best friends. We'd have been best fucking friends. It was like you guys. It was like I met him and I was like, why didn't I grow up with you? Like, it's so fucking it cracks my shit up. I was a huge big fucking Scottalite growing up. But I
wait, a what?
Hold on, a what?
Scottalite. I mean,
Is that
I was a
legit?
rude boy.
Scottalite?
Yeah.
Wait, is Rude Boy another name for it?
Yeah, dude.
I think a Scottalite.
The world of
fossil.
ska
Scottalite is
so
a band.
mysterious.
Dude, it's dude, the ska universe is so fucking interesting to me. My favorite band was I had a fucking ton, but I was always really into Real Big Fish growing up. And Scott Klopfenstein was the backup singer and trumpet player for Real Big Fish, and I was such a huge fan of him in particular because he had this beautiful voice. It was gorgeous, and I think that was one of the main things that made their sound so interesting, is that they could really sing, and especially Scott. And he started this side band called Littlest Man Band. I fell fucking, and go look it up. It's so fucking good. He is such a wonderful songwriter. He has this song on YouTube. You have to go look it up. It's called The Hilarious. He has The Hilarious and Welcome to New York, and I swear they're like two of the best written songs I've ever heard. They're so fucking good, and like no one could sing it but him. He's so good. And he ended up being a fan of some of my work, and now we're like Facebook friends.
That's
All right.
That's so
like,
cool.
like,
I
what
love to
the
hear that.
Fuck, dude. That was like my brag for the
Boom.
night. But
Reeled his ass in.
yeah, I fucking love that guy. But he's making a documentary about ska, I think, right now. So that was like, this
Yeah.
brought that back around. But ska bands have the funniest fucking names. So we were Rising Freefall. We never played any shows. And then I was in a band that did play shows called Nathan Martin and the Hurricanes. I was a hurricane.
Wow.
And we were
Hurricane
like
James.
Christian pop punk, which was fucking cool.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's some tight shit.
Fuck the system, but respect the Lord, I guess.
Fuck the system, but only a certain level of system. When you get higher up, don't.
Hey, Nathan Martin the Hurricane, save some pussy for the rest of us. It's disrespectful. That's not okay. I don't talk like that. I don't want anyone think like, no, I don't like him anymore. He can't play at my church. But
Put those middle fingers in the air and cross your chest.
that's fucking Catholicism. Yeah, we did it. We had a few weird band names and shit growing up. We wanted to start a new ska band called Candy Coated Fury. And we were like, nah. And then later that ended up being the name of one of Real Big Fish's albums. It was like,
Really?
Yeah.
Did you tell your buddy that?
Oh yeah.
That bastard. He owes you royalties.
Yeah.
No, he didn't do that. That was Real Big Fish's. No, not that. That wasn't. He had actually left the band by the time that happened.
Oh.
But he and I didn't talk about that.
He still owes you royalties, I think, just
Yeah,
for the
just in
idea
Charlie
alone.
the amount of money I get in that man in CDs and T-shirts and shit.
He owes you that money back.
Just give it back to me, Scott.
I'm famous now.
There are 14 people, including my mom, who love me on the internet.
My signatures have sold on eBay for $15 each.
That's
Buy
double
it now
digits.
by October 13th. $15,
No
$4.99
bids.
shipping.
No bid.
What were we talking about? What's the weirdest band name?
Oh, dude. Okay, well, I'll just give my answer because I'm a bastard. I always fucking loved the band name Passion Pit.
Oh, I love
Don't
Passion
know a
Pit.
single song by him, but I would
Dude,
always
Passion
see
Pit's
that.
cool.
Be like, oh my god, what a cool band name,
That is
Passion
really
Pit.
good. That is really good.
They had the first I ever heard of them was they had a song on the trailer for Little Big Planet 2. And I was like, this sounds awesome.
Yeah.
They make some good music. You've never heard Carried Away?
Maybe
You've
I
definitely heard it just like you.
yeah, one of those things where
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that was Passion Pit, but that's
Passion
a dank ass name. Soundgarden is
It's
a
got
cool
everything.
name too.
Soundgarden is fucking great, dude.
I don't know
Soundgarden is definitely up there. Oh my god, man, I have never even thought about, but Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Isn't that great?
You just fucking first of all, wait. A band is only as good as their name, and you know who's got the best name and best band?
Hoobastank.
Sugar Ray. Yes.
Wait, Sugar Ray. Sugar
It's
Ray.
like the same era.
So I fucking destroyed your joke.
It was so much better. When I was a kid, I had a friend convince me that Hoobastank was Jesus' middle name, and I was like, Jesus. I was like, Jesus Hoobastank Christ.
Jesus H. Christ is for That's so fucking dumb.
Can you imagine reading the book of Hoobastank?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, Job, Hoobastank.
Oh my god, dude.
What was their hit? What was their hit?
reason and the reason is you.
That fucking cool ass Asian dude lead singer. He was so fucking rad.
Is he Asian?
Yeah, I think.
I don't
I'm
know
probably
anything.
wrong. Listen, look at me.
It's the
look at
same
me.
friend. It was the same friend. He's like,
please be-
Hoobastank is his
please
middle
be
name.
right.
Here's the thing too. I look up a photo and I can't even say he looks Asian because I mean I don't know.
This is a fucking minefield. This is a Soundgarden. I'm ignorant. I don't know. I've seen no way out of this conversation that's gonna make me look good.
One of my favorite ones that's not like the coolest band name, but it's one of my favorite bands, and I love how like it matches their tone of just being fun. Is I really love Wolfpack.
Yes.
Yeah, Wolfpack
Yes.
fucking rocks because
a
they
cool
just
name,
they just like it matches it of it's like kind of hard. You hear it once and you're like, what the fuck did you say to me? Did
Yeah.
you say Wolfpack?
Is that the sound you make when you pull your zipper up on a poofed up jacket? Like a windbreaker?
That's it. I love their music, man. It's just some smooth shit. It's just they have fun. There's one video I love on their YouTube channel where I don't know the guy's name. It's Antoine something, I think. where they made some songs with this one singer that would do a couple of songs with them, and then this recently, like, I don't know if he's a main part of the band. I don't know enough about him, but like they make more songs with him now. And when they were on tour, they did like a tutorial for like to make a certain type of salad, and they just like had him sing out every single thing for it. Like it's really great.
There's this one guy who sings with and I think he's done a few different. I'm like away from the microphone. Like I've produced 4 different podcasts that are currently running. I can't remember which songs he does, but he has the most gorgeous voice in the entire fucking world.
For Wolfpack, you're talking about?
Yeah, he has the. I said, wait for.
That's him. Yeah, Wait for the Moment's one of my favorite songs of all time. Really. Wait for the Moment. I'll look up his name. We deserve to mention his name. That song, actually, I started listening to Wolfpack my first summer of working that concession stand in the summers, and I would get out when the sun was setting. So I just like for 3 years was like, all right, I'm out of work, time to listen to Wait for the Moment as I drive home. And it was really nice because it was
so chill, man.
Be a bunch of work.
What are you banging lately in terms of musica?
I've been listening to a lot of Bad Sons. I don't know if you guys have heard them.
That fucking familiar.
Good, dude. They're
Like
so
SONS
good.
or SUNS?
SUNS. Let me see at my spoofy. I have to look at my Spotify playlist to see.
You fucking just call it spoofy. Don't
Yeah,
brush past
son.
it.
Let
me check my spoofy.
my spoofy. Let's look through the spoofy and see what's been going on in my head lately.
His name is Antoine Stanley, and he's fucking incredible. His voice is so great.
Beautiful voice. Oh my god, it is fucking butter. It
Listen
is
to
so
1612.
good.
That's a great fucking song.
Which
The
one?
Order
It's just like
1612?
it's called it's just called 1612, and he just kind of fucks around. Like I'm sure I don't know if it was planned.
1, 2.
Yeah, that's the one. I love that one.
Yeah, that one's so good. And then he's got oh fuck, what's the one about baseball?
Oh shit, I know this. It's One for One DiMaggio. That's it.
How's it go?
I fucking don't. That's not it.
Look at me, I could be Santa Field. Is it that one?
No.
I think that's by Kenny Loggins. Does no one know that song though? Center Field?
I had no idea where you were
Damn it, I was counting.
Kenny Loggins has one of the best songs of all fucking time.
What is it?
Give me a second. I can't remember the name.
Center Field.
Looking
I
up
wanna,
songs.
it's John Fogerty. I was wrong.
Oh, dude, no. Kenny Loggins, very genuinely, not a bit. One of the best songs. Give me a.
We can't
We can't do that. We can't do that. Oh,
Tony, add slurs over that.
wait. Oh, this is gonna fucking kill me because it's get to the point where I'm taking too long to find it.
Or where the time doesn't justify
it loses.
that.
Yeah, we lose interest the longer I take to find it. God, I remember. Here it is. Okay, it's fucking Nobody's Fool. Nobody's Fool. Hold on.
Hum it or sing it or
Wait,
something.
cut this part out because I'm gonna listen to it for a second.
And we're back from
We're
Jamie
back.
listening to fucking copyrighted music.
You got the
Kenny
song
shutting down
wrong.
Kenny Loggins is the French kiss of songwriters. So fucking good, dude.
He did a lot of like movie soundtracks too, didn't he? Like with big like hit songs on them, too.
Caddyshack, my man.
That's nuts. Does that still happen where it's like, because I'm thinking back to like
that?
Kenny Loggins and like Huey Lewis in the News, where it's like their songs were like blowing up with the movies and shit. I don't know. Does that
They
happen?
don't do theme songs anymore. They're afraid to be goofy about it. You know, it's like Gummy Bears. Fucking, that's the best theme song of all time. Gummy Bears is the best theme song. You can't fight me on that. Gummy Bears is the best theme song of all fucking time.
Crazy Frog exists, guys. I don't know. It's not even a theme song. It's
Gummy Bears bouncing here and there.
I didn't even know. Was that a show?
yeah.
Because I remember that like Gummy Bear song. That was an early viral video. That shitty 3D animated like green gummy bear.
Yes, dude.
Remember that?
That had the lead singer of the Aquabats was one of the Gummy Bears. Another fucking great band name. That
is a good one.
But-
Aquabats.
Yeah, the Aquabats are fucking great. That was a ska band too. They're not really ska anymore. They kind of do some weird shit now. They're behind Yo Gabba Gabba.
You're saying this as if it's all common knowledge.
You know, Yo Gabba Gabba.
I do know that
The
show.
info that's going on.
Oh my God, it's
right
the
now.
Aquabats.
I am dropping
You know, from
some
Yo Gabba
fucking
Gabba.
ska trivia on you motherfuckers.
When you were in the ska band, did you? And please say yes. And if you didn't, please say yes anyway. I stole that bit from Family Guy. But did you ever play the AFV theme song?
Remind me what that is.
Da-na-na, da-na-na-na, da-da-na-na-da, da-da,
and then it goes,
And that's just Tom Bergeron.
welcome back, everybody.
That's my favorite.
It's
Oh,
so
the
easy
guitar
to do.
I'm having so much fun.
Do you actually
That is
know
it,
this?
though. That's
Dude,
it.
I do know it. That's why I'm just watching it.
Well, then I played the song.
No, dude, you know what the best ska song is? And
What's
they're not
that?
even ska anymore, but Goldfinger did that fucking song from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Superman. So here I am, doing everything I can. You know that song? And all to what I am, pretending I'm a Superman. That's the best fucking...
It sounded cool, though. Tony Hawk had some fucking banging soundtracks, dude.
Yeah, Goldfinger had like one ska album, and they're still labeled as ska, I think. But that was a good fucking album. Holy shit, that was good.
Yeah.
Hang-Ups.
Dude, one of my favorite songs I ever got from a Tony Hawk, Underground 1. It's Imaginary Places by Bus Driver.
How'd it go?
I'm just here to hold your hand when you die. It's one of those like hella fast, like I just use hella, kill me. I'd like one of those really fast rap songs.
NorCal. You're
No.
speaking real NorCal right now. Let's go
Welcome.
get some cold brew coffee and sit.
And sit.
Just it's what we do out here. It's just a coastal thing.
I call my friend Trish, even though her name is Katricia.
Katrish.
Anyway.
All right, boys, on that note.
Well, fellas, I tells you what.
We're nearing closing out. Well, first, I just want to thank you, Jamie, for being on and for making this podcast possible.
I
You're
wanna-
genuinely one of my favorite people ever. And
You
I
guys are
love you.
genuinely one of my favorite peoples ever.
You guys
I am
just keep
very
me on the topic.
I'm
Good.
very grateful for your friendships. Honestly,
nice
and I'm
moment.
not going to take that back when we stop recording. This isn't just for show.
You say that, and that makes me
You
think you're
haven't
going to
paid
do
me
that.
$35 for me to say this.
We're paying him.
Both of
do-
you, between the two of you, both of you paying me $35. I'm leaving with $70 total because
Oh,
I'm
so
not.
no, I
I'm
know
not-
you're talking about.
I'm
Yeah,
not getting paid.
because you asked about getting paid $70, and then
Didn't.
Gus was like, "I'll cover Eddie's cut," and I was like,
That's-
"Oh,
yeah,
dude,
I do
totally,
remember
that's so
that. I do
generous."
remember that.
So then Gus is gonna pay you $70, and we're done with the podcast.
Yep.
So
Thank you for your friendship.
Gus, you have anything to say?
No.
He's gonna pay you $70.
For the
All right.
best.
Jamie, wait, Jamie, where can we find you?
Everybody
right.
can find me on all the internet on Jalen Mick, at JALLENMC. I have a website called jamesalanmccune.com. It is a fucking mess. That's the way I like it.
Links in the description down below. Go check out Jamie.
You can
James.
also see me on Sugar Pine 7 most days of the week. I'm sorry. I'm better than this. I swear to God. I'm not. And there's something else. Oh, we were talking about, I don't know if this is going to be cool for me to announce.
You know, we can do a tentative announcement, and if you can't announce it yet, that's when at this point in the podcast we'll say, Tony, cut this out if we give you word later.
And Tony, if it's not cut out, you got to put like air horns and effects on the screen. Beep, beep, beep. Special announcement tentatively.
He's not gonna do
some
that.
graphics,
I know
man.
he's my brother. He's not gonna do that.
Guilty. I trust
What's
him
your-
to do it.
What's your tentative project that's definitely coming out but is tentatively secret still?
It's not a big deal. It genuinely isn't. It's
Dude,
like-
it is a fucking big deal.
It's well,
cool.
I don't
as
want to make a
hell.
big deal about it because I've like done shit where it's been like, oh my god, I can't wait to watch it. And then it's like it's actually like one or two scenes. It's really not that. I don't want to overblow it. I'm very excited though. I got to do an episode of How to Get Away with Murder with good old Viola Davis, and I had a real fucking good time. And it's the second episode of the new season coming out on I think September 27th. And
Okay.
yeah, I had a little fun doing that.
Catch him live. Tweet at
I had a
him.
little
I'm gonna do it.
fun making that that little episode. It's just I don't want to overemphasize it because I've done this in the past, but it's a lot of fun and I'm very happy with how it went. I think. And then
That's cool as hell.
I'm in a video game. I don't think I can talk about that yet.
Keep
it in.
Can
Keep
you
it
can
in.
you say,
I won't
you
say
can
what it
say
is.
though I'm in a video game that's
I'm in a
coming
video
out.
can say
game.
that.
I'm in a
Yeah.
video game.
You
It's
guys
coming
played
out.
those? Pretty good.
I did a video game. That's actually you asked me earlier what my favorite performance is. That's
Yeah.
that. That's
I'm
so far.
excited.
I feel
Oh
like my
my God.
performance in that video game is easily the best thing that I've done for me, as far as I'm
wait.
concerned.
Fucking psyched.
I'm
Again,
very proud of it.
can we kill you in the game though?
I can't say.
Can I kill you in
damn
real
it.
life?
I will do it. I'll.
I can't say.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Cheat
again,
codes.
Don't go breaking my heart.
so I'd say let's all bust out our wallets, but Gus has got us covered for this one.
Gus is
So
rich.
everyone just
Gus
bust out,
is rich.
Bust out those. How about
He's
gust
vulnerable.
out those wallets? Get that $70 going. Good
Okay,
job,
I
boys.
think we should all sing a song on the way out. Start us off. Start us off, Gus.
Can you hear the prayer of the children